Good morning, good morning. Welcome. Let me get these links out, and then we can dive straight into it. But yeah, welcome to the live stream. Here we go. Copy. Where am I? Where am I? Here we go. Yeah. It's been a bit of a volatile morning. More so for traditional markets. Due to opening up to the weekend news of Credit Suisse. And by the looks of it, and we will go through it, of course, things aren't looking good. The markets aren't taking well to it. I mean, you could call it a potential or the beginning of the financial or a financial crisis. But I guess we shall see how things kind of develop. But at the moment, the banks seem to have sorted it out. But things can definitely change. Now, as you can see, I mean, Bitcoin's taken well to it. Okay. Partly due to being the alternative. Okay. And one of the main arguments for why Bitcoin is going to stay around. Um, so, yeah, I mean, the last night, was it last night? Or the night before? I think it was last night. Pulled in some nice long trades on, I think, this breakout here. We had a bullish flag forming. Um, yeah, so lower time frame, we had a nice bullish flag form just here, as you can see. We've got that nice breakout. We got that pullback last night. We got the pullback straight to that 50 moving average as well as this liquidity area here. And now we're pushing back up as the rest of the markets actually open up, right? I don't think. Let me just have a little look at. Have a little look at the dollar index. I mean, it looks like it's going to push down lower. Yeah, so our box of liquidity is still holding. Now there is a bit of support just beneath it, so either come into here or a bit further down to larger liquidity. Now things are looking very bearish here, so it does look like we're going to make that break throughout the course of today. So yeah, I guess we keep our eyes open for it. Yeah, looking for that break much lower. And we should see that push in crypto. Crypto should continue pushing up higher. Now, we've got a target between 30 and 32k as your next kind of resistance area. So, between here and 32. Let me get this chart up where the TA has been done. So, there's your bullish flag. We broke out, we came back, retested, and now pushing back up. Now, as mentioned, 30 to 32k is our next area. Okay, so between here and here. That's your area to look for. Okay, I know it's a relatively big area, but I don't know what we're looking at. Somewhere in that region for things to go into and actually start pulling back. Things are looking strong. I mean, on the lower time frame, volume is slightly, as overall volume is declining. So there is a little bit of that factor in terms of, okay, things are actually slowing down for the Bulls. So yeah, it needs to pick up again. Okay. Now, as mentioned in yesterday's update, we are approaching a key level on the chart. The most key kind of pivotal point on crypto. Okay, here it is. Okay, very strong previous level of resistance. Okay, previous level of support. Sorry, as you can see here. Okay, it's going to take quite a lot for buyers to make that break. Okay, now if the Feds on Wednesday comes in at 0%, you're there's a good chance that we actually do make that break. That's very, very, very bullish. Okay. Um, it's also signaling in terms of, because of everything that's happened with these banks, right? That the Fed is somehow spooked, because the data really isn't. I mean, there's still space for interest rates to actually push up until they reach the kind of the target for the terminal rate, or the overall terminal rate for this year. So markets are actually still expecting a increase in interest rates. Um, so if it comes in at zero, it's mainly to do with what's happening with the banks that have been kind of going insolvent and going bankrupt. Which again, I mean, it will spark up fears in the market. Um, the overall market, however, I mean, obviously, crypto is kind of an alternative to banking, right? So it'll push ahead for with that. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're coming up to that pivotal point. Okay, this is where it's make or break. If we again, as mentioned in yesterday's update, the one thing that is missing is sell side. We've not been getting any sell side, so this is the area which your sell side needs to come in hot and fast. Okay, when if we get that, if we start getting the sell side peaking, okay, heavily, and we start to make a strong move to the in the opposite direction, um, then yeah, you're probably looking at a strong, well, kind of that level of resistance holding. Okay, now this is what I mean by overall volume kind of declining. Okay, so we got that divergence in price action and volume. Um, so yeah, we need to see the buy side start to peak up again, for it to actually make that break of this key level. Okay, if again we start seeing that kind of bearish and reversal price action in combination with strong sell side volume, this will come down heavily. Okay, again, kind of really does depend on what the Fed does. Okay, let me just have a look at if the probabilities for CME Group, the probabilities for the interest rates outcome this Wednesday. Probabilities CME. So in the update that we made, it was 38% for 0%, and 62% um, for a 25 basis point. Okay, where is it? And by the way, guys, anyone that's joining us, feel free to touch base with us in the chat. More than happy to go through TA that you want us to go through. But let me just get this. Let me just get the projections, because they do change day on day, so it could be the case that 0%'s gone up. Um, March. Here we go. Fed Watch. Okay, so it's actually gone up 44.6% for a 0% increase and a 55%. So it's gone up. Again, as mentioned, they do change on the day. So, I mean, the markets are taking it as, okay, there's a higher chance that the Fed is actually going to come in at 0%. Again, it's you're only reading it in terms of, okay, what is the market expecting, right? And then looking at it from a realistic standpoint. Because if the expectations is far away from the actual reality of that figure, that's where you start getting the huge moves in the market, right? So yeah, we'll see. Now, we may as well look at some TA in terms of it actually turning back around, right? So if we actually tap into this area of liquidity or this kind of key pivotal point on Bitcoin, hold it as resistance and make a move back down, right? Now, question is to ask, okay, where are my next levels of support? Now, it's going to be this previous level of resistance that could potentially turn into new support. Okay, once if we break through here and we come straight back into this structure, right? Remember that this was the wider range that and the wider structure that we were moving within before breaking out to the upside. Now, if prices actually move straight back in, okay, you're going to get a lot of sellers, sell side orders actually being triggered here. Okay, why? We're going back into that range, and we're going back underneath that 200 moving average, that long-term moving average. Okay, so it's important that obviously we kind of keep our eyes on it. This is your key point for resistance. This will be a key point of support. Okay, if we actually start breaking down, then we can look at some other levels or some more local levels of next support. Okay, but we do need to get past this point first. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's make or break time, really. It really is make or break. Now, one thing that we have spoken to members about, April and May are normally red months. Okay, so um, yeah, normally it's red. Okay, the market could be setting up for something like that. Okay, we could be setting up for a breakdown in prices. So bear that in mind. Okay. Uh, do I see it breaking? I don't. I don't see it breaking through here. Not now. Um, Again, I say this because I'm not expecting that 0% interest rate hike to come in on Wednesday. But again, I mean, things can happen. But I don't see that 0%. I see that 0.25 still coming in. Okay, I think. I mean, the Fed's already been doing work in terms of working out other means of finding liquidity in the market for banks. Okay, or a way that banks can open up their balance sheet for liquidity. Um, Obviously, the Fed, the FDIC, have all been working together as well as obviously Janet Yellen. Or was it Janet Yellen or Nancy Pelosi? Look, I think it's Nancy. Um, Janet Yellen, that's it. So check DXY 30-minute chart. Yeah, let's have a little look. I did just go through it. Let's have a little look at it again. Um, Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it to continue coming down. There's still some levels of support it needs to come to. Breaking through this kind of very short term structure that it's forming, and come down into these next levels of liquidity. Now, that's your much stronger level of support right here. But you've got this much smaller one. So I'll come down, tap, see how things kind of react. It could be the case that it finds enough liquidity at this point and makes a move back up. If not, we're coming a bit lower. But yeah, I'm expecting things to come down. I mean, look at this. Yeah, it's got so a nice tap there. This is kind of your stronger level. See how we got that very kind of strong reaction on price 1 2. Come there, tap in again, and then see how things kind of play out. Now, depending on how things on the news front actually develop here, um, I'm expecting the moves to be done by today, really, and then tomorrow be relatively quiet ahead of the Fed on Wednesday. So yeah, we'll see how things kind of play out. Yeah, but I'm expecting this to come down. So I mean that it falls in line with the expectation of crypto prices pushing towards that 32 to 30k area. That's for sure. Right, I'm gonna have a little look at some other markets here. Um, Yesterday night, a short on oil was looking nice. I mean, it has fallen down a bit more now. But this is looking like things are just going to come down. Now it was at the 200 moving average. There we go. We're actually beneath it now. This has got liquidity just here. $60 a barrel. Nice round number. It's looking like that could be the one. I mean, look at this period of just extremely low volume, and then the sellers just start to come in. Um, yeah, I mean things aren't looking great for oil, are they? Could potentially get a short here. So adjust above there and play it all the way down to 60. Nice round number. So let's see, at the zero point 0.5, you got this kind of level of previous support turns into new resistance. What about the demand zone before the push on the left? Are we still on the dollar, right? Are we on about this demand zone yet? Just yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, it's you've almost got some bearish structure building up here, and can you see how I mean we come and tap that level of previous structure into new resistance, support resistance. Yeah, yeah. I mean it's looking like we're just going to push and then bam, come right down. So let's see how I lead the way. Yeah, it's coming down. It's looking very weak. Yeah. Um. Yeah. Going back to oil, it's looking good. I think I might take a position here. Alright, we're going to take a position. Now, I mean, we could still potentially push up to that 618. So if that's the case, when we start holding that level, we'll add a little bit more margin at that point. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with a potential turnaround here. I saw some decent buy side coming in. Yeah, we've taken a short, guys. So do you think? Okay, okay. Let's have a look at this. Ooh. Bitcoin dominance is coming up to its level of resistance right at the top of its range. Okay, that is key to take in mind. Yeah, I mean, there's a very big move on the cards here. Very big move. Bitcoin dominance is at its key level of resistance. It's make or break. We're either making a turnaround straight back down, or we're making that breakthrough to that 200. And whenever, I mean, Bitcoin dominance is at kind of very key levels. Okay, either breakout points or um, either breakout points or turning points, reversal points. Things tend to move heavily. Now one thing that I did notice last night was, sorry, bear with me. The Russell. Okay, the Russell is extremely low. Look at that structure on the Russell. Now the Russell tracks relatively closely to Bitcoin. Okay, but just look at that. There's your key level of support. Now, I mean, if we are still ranging, pushing towards the bottom, but I mean, look at that turnaround. Heavy turnaround. And again, as mentioned, the Russell 2000 tracks quite closely to Bitcoin's price action. Okay, so we got oil making a slight push. We're nicely in profit now. See if we can continue coming down. We do need that sell side to kind of materialize here. Okay, let's go. Got a little bit of a turnaround. Thank you for the likes on the stream as well. Very much appreciated. It's quite a bullish candle here as well, this green one. Straight back in. So we just got to wait for that dollar index to make that push down. So just got to be a little bit patient, yeah, and be good to go soon. Selassie, I need the way. Could potentially start looking at some longs, yeah. I like the sushi long here, guys. Is looking very, very nice. Holding that trend line currently. Now they're pushing up. Potentially push up all the way. Looks good. Definitely looks good. That's for sure. Hey, bro, what's your position at this time? On the overall market, yeah, I mean, expecting things to push up. Now, I do feel like the majority of the move for this week, or before or prior to the Fed interest rate decision on Wednesday, is going to happen throughout today. I think we'll get a nice move today, and then tomorrow we'll get a nice pause in terms of price action, and then. Well, kind of as markets are kind of anticipating and holding off for that Fed decision, and then especially the Fed's speech, and then kind of have a little bit more foresight on what's happening, and then the markets move again. It's an important one interest rate decision as well as FOMC speech, right? Because I mean. That more and more of the market is looking at potential 0% or a pause on interest rates, partly due to what's happening with banks. Now I don't see a 0% happening. The 0.25 I think is kind of acceptable, advisable, right? So yeah, I mean markets are obviously holding off. But what am I expecting in terms of crypto? Crypto to push towards this kind of key point on your chart. Okay, it's the pivot point on Bitcoin, right? As you can see, support. Turning into new resistance potentially. This could be the point where you get the sellers to come in hot, because we have not had the sellers at all coming in. And that's the problem that we've kind of been having, and not getting those strong turnarounds. Okay, just look at how long it took to kind of pull back down here. At the first hurdle for the sellers, they failed to break through. Right, this was the first real strong point of support. They failed to, and then look at what happened in terms of buyers. 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, and we've pushed past what the sellers had accomplished in I think it was like 2 weeks or something. Okay, um, so yeah, the buyers look strong. As you can see now on the lower time frame, we are seeing a little bit of a dip off in terms of volume, as you can see here. See, so again a little bit of a weakness. Now, again, on the decision, make that push, bam. Could potentially see the sellers coming in here. Now, if we get the price action with the sell side volume coming in, this could come straight back down. Okay. Now, this is kind of your first level of strong support around 25k, where it's kind of previous structure. If we break through that, then I mean the sellers are, well, there's going to be a lot of sell side orders triggered, a lot of liquidations triggered as well, because there's a whole load of retail traders thinking that, okay, that's the bottom, we are pushing up higher. Now it could be, it could very well not be as well. Okay, just bear in mind this is your pivotal point on your chart. See how we got a nice concentration of liquidity here, and then on the higher time frame you can see it's just probably one of the strongest levels on your chart. Yeah, well, for the bulls to actually break through. Now if we push above, we close above, who knows how far we could actually go. I'm looking at kind of the next level. If we make that push, I mean 34k, looks like we got a bit of structure at that point there. But I mean that's a very strong push, and you're likely only to get that if it's a 0% interest rate decision, as well as kind of what's being said in that FOMC speech. Now, the one thing, and again, we have touched base on this on our update, is what to listen out for. Okay, so the first question to ask is, or to kind of look at is, okay, what does the interest rate come in at? Okay, 0%, 0.25. Now, it's very unlikely a 0.5% will come in. Okay, but those are your three outcomes. Okay, but the next, and kind of slightly more important now, I feel like the 0.25 is going to come in, which is in line with kind of expectations. Now, as a 0%, there's some of the market is expecting that or thinking about it, but it's not majority of the market. Okay, but the one thing that you want to listen out for in that FOMC speech, now I think Jerome Powell is going to come in with majority of the same thing, right? But the one thing that you want to listen out for, and it's going to be asked, is how high are terminal rates going to go up to? Okay, what's the forecast? If he changes the forecast for this year, markets have not priced that in. Markets are expecting, okay, a 0.25 interest rate hike this time round, and in May a pause, okay, and that's it. Okay, that's what the market is pricing in. Now, if Jerome Powell comes in and says, right, I'm pushing up terminal rates for this year, that means, okay, there's more rate hikes to come. May, okay, and onwards. So, yeah, markets have not priced that in. They're expecting a pause to come in the May interest rate decision meeting. Okay, so, again, if that's the case, you can say see you later, okay, but yeah, we'll see. Love it. Yeah, perfect, man. I mean, yeah, let's see how things kind of play out again. This interest rate decision, I will not be trading. I'm sitting on the sidelines, letting it do its thing. It very much can go either way. So yeah, I'll trade it up, and ideally, I just want to trade today, okay, and then tomorrow kind of look elsewhere, um, and then just in terms of crypto, I won't be trading it, come Wednesday. Now again, I mean, I say this as a rule of thumb. If there's certain structure coming up and I can see something that looks ideal, then I'll act on that. But realistically, yeah, just it's an important interest rate decision and FOMC speech, especially with everything that's been happening as well with the banks. Okay, we could very much get a domino effect. At the moment, the problem has been plugged. Okay, the kind of larger banks have come together and they've stopped the problem. Okay, but if the banks that have been kind of bailed out, okay, go down go down the drain again, that is going to open a whole can of worms. Okay, that's going to look really bad for the banking industry. Okay, at the moment, like I said, things are looking fine. It looks like it's been sorted. Okay, but yeah, I mean, Credit Suisse was the biggest one. And as majority of you should know, it's currently being bought out by UBS. Okay, so the other Swiss bank. um, but yeah, I mean, obviously you got First Republic, in the US, um, which is the bigger bank, of kind of the US banks that have gone into insolvency. Um, but again, like I said, JP Morgan, all the big banks have come together, plugged that hole. But if it reopens, yeah, things are really not looking good. But anyway, okay, so oil taking a short. Let's see how things are going to play out. Yeah, we could come down. Um, I do like a potential long here now. I mean, if we could potentially break that trend. Um, just have it just there. Okay. So if we break, I mean, yeah, things are definitely going to come a bit lower. But um, like I said, I mean, going through this looks like we're going to come down here. Should put some nice upward pressure on the crypto market. Selassie, I lead the way. Yeah, so dollar index come down, and then kind of see that kind of Bitcoin trickle up towards this key level. But I mean, we'll see how things kind of play out. Could be the case that we don't even make it. Um, but yeah, we'll see. Anyone that's just joining us, feel free to touch base with us in the chat. Ask us anything. We can go through any TA. That's perfectly fine. In terms of trades that we have gotten into, okay, we've taken this oil short. Okay, it's looking nice. Looking at a continuation to the downside. It's looking very, very weak. Looking potentially a short towards that $60 mark. Okay, I know that's a decent move, but I mean, just look at how bearish things are looking. Look at that. Come up, tested that 0.5, as well as that previous level of support, turning into new resistance. So, yeah, things are looking good. We are currently up nicely. So, things are going well so far. We had a huge week last week, okay? We are on record for the biggest month this year. I know, I mean, it's only 3 months in. Currently the third biggest month that we've ever had. Sorry, let me move this over. So yeah, I mean, we're at the moment around 8,000% net on the crypto. In terms of the FX and traditional markets, again, doing amazingly well for the month. 80% success rate on that one, 70% success rate on the crypto. Yeah, things are going very, very, very well. Last week was a crazy week in terms of trades, just profit left, right, and centre. So all of those that got involved, I mean, hats off. Very, 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 very good week. Months like these, we fully need to capitalise on. That's for sure. Structure has just been very nice. It's been just been going text to textbook. Um, so we'll see if we can continue through that. Da, 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 da.
Okay, Michael, thanks. It's 5:42 on Wall Street. This is Bloomberg Daybreak. I'm Nathan Hager alongside Karen Moscow, continuing to watch the financial sector this morning and the fallout as UBS and Credit Suisse shares continue to tumble following the hastily arranged deal for UBS to buy out its troubled Swiss rival for about $3.2 billion. Bloomberg Radio and TV markets correspondent Kriti Gupta joins us with more on the fallout and the aftermath. Kriti, good morning. Obviously, UBS and Credit Suisse shares are getting a lot of the attention, but there's not a whole lot of green across the financial sector this morning.
No, good morning, Nathan. They absolutely is not. And a lot of it comes down to a very, very wonky issue within the bond market. The idea of these AT1 bonds that are essentially serving as a capital buffer, not just for Credit Suisse, but for banks around the world. And here's where you start to have that worry about systemic risk. The idea here that if it's assured and you have these AT1 bonds, I'll explain what they are in just a moment, then perhaps that extra capital buffer that a lot of these banks had, again, around the world aren't as safe as previously thought. Now, Nathan, I want to quickly nerd out for a second and
Okay.
explain exactly what these are and how they work. Essentially, these are convertible bonds, and they're kind of introduced post-European kind of debt crisis. The idea that a lot of the European banking system and now other banks around the world need that extra capital buffer. And what I mean by that is just this extra kind of product, for lack of a better term. They're called COCOs, a convertible bond that can be changed into equity. They're higher yielding, but they're also higher risk. So you are getting kind of rewarded for the risk you're going to take.
Those that are just joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. Feel free to touch base with us in the chat. Okay, anything that you want us to go over or that you want us to look at, feel free to let us know. Um, yeah, I mean, they're not getting a whole load of movement at the moment. We have taken a short on oil, so I mean, we're nicely in profit at the moment, so we can't be moaning too much. We are looking at potential long. Um, yeah, we're looking at potential long here. Sorry, missed the start due to work. What's your views on BTC? Okay, let's go over it again. Yeah, so um, we're still expecting things to kind of move up. Now, let me go through from top to bottom, right? Uh, High time frame. Okay, this is your pivotal point on crypto. Simple as that. Okay, look at how it was a strong area of previous support, which is potentially going to turn into new resistance, right? Okay, so between, let's say, 32 to 30k is your area to look at. Now, again, it really does depend on what the Fed does. Okay, 0%. Okay, things are going to look bullish. Just more than likely to be risk on. Okay, that scenario is the likely scenario to see this area being broken. Okay, now if it comes in 0.25, okay, which is what I'm expecting it to come in. I don't think Jerome Powell's going to come in with anything that's going to spook the markets, okay, or potentially kind of make markets extremely volatile, okay. So 0.25 is the market expectation. So comes in 0.25, but then it's kind of, again, what's being said in the FOMC meeting is Jerome Powell going to increase his or the Fed's terminal interest rate forecast for this year. Okay, what the markets are pricing in or have priced in is 0.25 and a 0%. Okay, a pause in May. Okay, now if Jerome Powell comes in the FOMC meeting and says, right, okay, the overall or the terminal rate for this year is going to be increased. Okay, what does that signal? Signal that there's more rate hikes to be expected. The markets have not priced that in. This will just shoot right back down. Okay, markets have not priced that in. Markets are very, very optimistic currently. So the one thing that we're also missing in terms of TA, okay, is sell side. We've not had any sell side. Okay, this was the seller's attempt to actually really push market kind of the price down. Okay, it failed at its first strong hurdle of support. Okay, this is your key. There was a 618 from this move here, as well as that 200 moving average. Okay, it failed to do so, and we cancelled all of these sell side gains in just a few buy side candles. And look at the volume coming in, huge amount of volume. Okay, now on the lower time frame, we are seeing slight weakness of buyers, as you can see here. See how our overall volume is actually declining whilst price is increasing. Okay, so ideally what you want to see is the buyers start to kind of pick up that momentum to make this break. Just bear in mind, obviously going on the point that we touched on just a second ago, this is your pivotal point on crypto. Okay, this is probably the strongest area of resistance that you have. So it's going to take a lot for the buyers to break through. Now, if the sellers and the price action goes hand in hand in this box here, okay, as well as kind of the fundamental side of things go hand in hand, realistically, you're going to need the fundamentals to go hand in hand to get the sell side action coming in place, right? Let's say we go straight in here, we get some huge sell side wicks, maybe even over extensions over this point here, tapping into that liquidity heavily. That sell side really starts to pick up because we've not had any of that. But the sellers start to really come in hot there. Okay, that's your go-to. Sell the market. It's going to go down. Why? Again, going back, it's a key point on the chart. There is a lot of orders. So if you start seeing sellers coming in hot here, as well as that price action going in hand, this is going to take a dive. Okay, your next level of support, if that scenario plays out, is that 25k area. Okay, that's your kind of next strong area of support, where it was the top of that range and structure here. See. Okay, so that's your level of support. If we push and break through back down into that structure here, okay, we will assess things there. But this is your next level. Okay, after that 25k area, you're looking at about 22. After 22, I mean, things are going to come down. Okay, that's got around 19k is a nice area here. Or actually below 19k, about 19.5. But I mean, we'll see how prices kind of react there. But yeah, those are your next levels of support. In terms of resistance, if we do make that strong break, I mean, we could be going up high. Okay, 34 looks like an area at which there's some structure after that. But again, this is going to take a lot to get through. In terms of your dollar index, okay, I'm expecting things to come down, go hand in hand with that price actually pushing towards that 30 to 32k. Okay, coming down towards these two areas of liquidity, acting as support and demands. Okay, and then rebounding. So that's where I'm looking at prices actually continuing to push down towards that Fed. Either rebounding off here or rebounding off here. Okay, so we'll see how things going to play out at either of those levels. But yeah, I mean, we've got to go with the price action as well as the structure for the economic calendar this week. Obviously, your big day is your Fed interest rate decision on Wednesday. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how things kind of structure up just prior to that meeting. But yeah, that's your update. Okay. This is nicely up. So well done, anyone that got in on that oil trade. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. See if we can continue. It's looking bearish, very, very bearish. We could be potentially pushing towards that 60k, sorry, $60 mark. Just get rid. I mean, it's had a very strong move, very, very strong move. We are below that long-term 200 moving average on the weekly, which is quite a big, big, big point. Um, but yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's quite a decent amount of previous structure that we'll need to get through. It could be the case that we get a rebound here. If not, I think $60 is a nice number to look at. There's some previous structure that we can go off as well. Thanks for BTC recap. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. I mean, we sent out an update yesterday, um, but I'll get another one done after this stream. Um, but I mean, not much has changed since we done that update yesterday. In all fairness, um, things are moving a little bit slow. Yeah, we're looking at potential long on sushi. So I mean, we'll see. This is nicely moving in our direction. So I'm happy with that. I'm very happy. Yeah.
What is dedication? The thing that drives me every day as a dad is Dariana. We call him Day Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's attention, affection, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job. That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Those that are just joining us, guys, make yourselves at home. Feel free to message us in the chat with any TA that you want us to go over. Those that are just joining us and want to hear, I mean, a recap on the market, just skip to the right to the beginning. You get a full recap. We've already done it. We just done it a second ago. But yeah, or go and check out the latest post on our Trading View account. The full recaps there, so feel free. In terms of trades, we are in a short position on oil, as you can see. Entry, looking at taking profit at about $60. We'll see how things kind of react here. We are kind of at a level at which there's a decent amount of demand and support. So we'll see how well it holds. But yeah, I mean, things are looking weak for the crude.
JP Morgan Chase asking the judge to throw out a case from one of Jeffrey Epstein's victims. in supporting Epstein's sex trafficking network by providing him financial services. JP Morgan denies any knowledge of Epstein's wrongdoing, even though the bank in turn has sued its former top executive for just
And I do like a potential long on Sushi here. We're getting some decent structure. So just play it all the way to the top here. Probably just go for that 1.35 target. Got some levels of resistance leading up. So we got 1 and 2. We got a little bit. I mean, that's, yeah, that looks good. So got your 3 targets if you want to take your profit incrementally. Now we haven't got in just yet. I mean, probably getting ready for it.
How strong are the bank's arguments? How strong is its defense?
What are you looking at? Confirmation on Sushi to get in. This needs to make that break ideally, and we are looking like it's doing that. Yeah. Once we get that break and that move on that dollar, we should get this slightly moving up. Now, one thing to bear in mind is Bitcoin dominance is at its kind of level of resistance, so it could potentially turn around and then the altcoins start getting some of that market share. As you can see here, we are at that level of resistance. It's at the top of its kind of, I mean, its long-term range that it's been moving within for a very, very, very long time. So, it could be the case we come in, tap, and we start moving back down. That's where you get the altcoins taking a little bit more market share. And if Bitcoin makes that move up, okay, you'll see some of these altcoins start to really move. So all in all, I mean, with the Bitcoin dominant structure, if it does play out and we hold this level of resistance, start turning back down, Bitcoin prices actually continue pushing up. We'll get some of these altcoins really, really moving. Okay, so that's why I'm touching light on that Bitcoin dominance chart. Okay, so yeah, let's see.
Live from the Bloomberg Interactive Worker Studios, this is Bloomberg Daybreak.
Could be the case we come down.
Coming up today.
Doesn't look too bad to go. Continue pushing back up.
Market wiping out $17 billion of the riskiest bonds at Credit Suisse.
Yes, plunge as analysts point to potential earnings risk.
And global banking stocks slump in the wake of the deal.
A lawyer allied with Donald Trump testifies today before New York grand jury. Plus, Chinese President Xi meets today with Russia's Vladimir Putin. I'm Michael Barr. More ahead.
Up on Stan Sharon Sports, another easy win for the Rangers. The Devils won, the Nets lost. They're down to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament.
That's all straight ahead on Bloomberg Daybreak. On Bloomberg 11:30 on radio.
That oil trade's looking nice. Very, very nice.
Bloomberg 960 San Francisco, Sirius XM 119, and around the world on BloombergRadio.com and via the Bloomberg Business app.
Good morning, I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Karen Moscow, and U.S. stock index futures.
By the way, guys, thank you very much for all the likes on the stream and the follows. Very much appreciated. See if we can make some money together. Hopefully some of you are in this oil trade. Very nice positioning. See how things kind of play out. But yeah, like I mentioned, we are looking for that long on sushi. Now, I mean, this is the area which ideally you want it to hold. I mean, seeing some nice structure. It could be the case that we could get in here. Yeah. Alright, we're gonna just have a look. Yeah, okay, okay, okay.
I would like to make it clear that while we did not initiate discussions, we believe that this transaction is financially attractive for UBS shareholders, protects UBS from additional downside, and should support earnings growth over time.
UBS Chairman Colin Kelleher says he will shrink the investment bank at Credit Suisse, a unit that did rack up losses in recent years.
Well, we have global team coverage of this historic deal. We begin with Bloomberg's Francine Lachlan.
Alright, we're gonna take a long here on sushi.
Verne yesterday.
They fielded questions for about an hour and a half. I think they thought this would last for about 45 minutes. And there are so many questions. First of all, UBS got this quite on the cheap. I mean, why did they get it so cheap? I think it's maybe one of the first questions when you look at the valuation on Friday. And also the amount.
I used to be part of the VIP, but then due to work commitments, had to leave. Nice to see you still around and smashing it, bud. Yeah, I mean, thank you. Hopefully we'll see you back in with us again. But yeah, it's understandable, man. Work sometimes gets in the way, and you can't put the time that you wouldn't necessarily want to, as well as that commitment. But yeah, don't worry, we'll still be here for when things potentially change. We're not going anywhere. Yeah, we'll be here for a very, very, very long time. You'll see us about. But yeah, I hope everything's going well for you, my man. And yeah, hopefully back in action soon. Things are starting to change. We're not too far away from that Bitcoin halving. Yeah, there's big moments on the horizon, that's for sure. So it's time to really look at starting to capitalize on prices. But yeah, amazing, man, amazing. We'll be here. Not to worry, we will be here.
Bondholders are also angry about the terms of the takeover. The forced sale means $17 billion of the riskiest bonds at Credit Suisse are now worthless.
Well, Karen, reaction continues to pour into the takeover.
Yeah, this month has honestly just been insane. It really has just been crazy for profit. Really, really, really good month. For both crypto and FX and traditional markets. What time do you come for trading live? So we do London Open, New York Open, as well as New York Close. Now, depending on what we have going on, okay, sometimes we won't make one or two of those sessions. But so clocks have gone back, I'm pretty sure, in the US by an hour. In the UK, clocks go back, I think, this week or next week. So at the moment, we're coming live a bit earlier for kind of the market open. But normally around between 8 and 9 o'clock, you'll see us for the London Open, and then about 1 or 2 o'clock for New York Open. Now, again, as mentioned, the clocks have gone back, so we'll be live for the New York Open at 12 o'clock UK time. You're from Sydney, okay? I mean, we do have some people from Australia with us. Let me find out what time that is. Okay, so 9 a.m. Okay, so in the morning, 8 p.m. Sydney time. And then and then 11 o'clock at night, today 11 o'clock Sydney time, we'll be live for the New York Open. And then I presume the New York close is going to be, yeah. So to be fair, it works out all right for you in Australia, in all fairness. So 8 p.m. UK time, which is 7 a.m. Sydney time, we do the New York close. So I mean, things actually work all right for you over in Sydney. It's not too bad. Um, yeah. So so London Open, 8 a.m. UK time, is 7 p.m. So the current time there now, and then New York Open, which is the big one, is about 12 p.m. Sydney time. So it doesn't work too bad for you, in all fairness. You'll see us. Don't worry. You'll see our logo popping up now. The live stream thumbnail does change, but yeah, you'll see us throughout the day here. That's for sure. By the way, guys, we have gone in long on sushi, and we're still short on oil. This could be a nice move back down if we hold this area. Thanks, man. Definitely, I'll keep coming. Yeah, but make yourself at home, man. Come visit us. Come see us. I mean, the last few live streams have been really good. Been cashing on some nice profits. So, yeah, and I guess kind of one of the best ways that you guys can also learn, is just by watching us. Can you do an analysis on gold? Yes, of course I can, mate. I had a look at it this morning. I mean, it's made a slight pullback here, but it was very, very, very high, very high. I wasn't even expecting it to push this high. I was expecting it to start finding some resistance here. But hey ho, we've absolutely smashed through that. All right, let me get rid of this here. Let's start from top to bottom again. So let's go on this higher time frame again. So I guess that's your strong area of resistance. Let me see if we can get anything on the higher time frame. Okay. Now, I mean, it's very much it goes hand in hand with what's happening and the fundamental side of things, right? So if the banking sector continues to have the problems that it's been having, okay, investors are going to continue to look for safe havens, okay, and gold being one of them. Bitcoin again is looking like it's one of them. Even though it's considered risk on, okay. But I mean, gold has definitely had a lot of, well, a very good influx of investment. But yeah, I mean, we're at resistance. Okay, we're not seeing a great deal of volume, quite a lot of buy side. Okay, so we could actually make that push. Not much sell side, so probably looking at maybe another push towards that area there. I'm seeing a little bit of a pullback. I mean, if you take the structure and compare it to Bitcoin, it's very, very similar. Very similar. So it's just setting up some structure here, right? But at the moment, we're getting some good price structure. So we got a nice push up, okay, a nice push up again. Now we're going to build up here. Now it could be the case that we just range. Okay, we build up on a range here and then potentially make that break towards this area here. And then see some sell side coming in again. Very similar to Bitcoin in terms of, okay, there's not a strong amount of sell side. It's relatively all buyers. So again, we'll need to see that sell side. And again, as mentioned, it depends on the developments in terms of the banking sector. It really does. yeah, it needs some sell side, but by the looks of it, we're just going to continue structuring up a little bit here.
For more information. We'll get more on the UBS takeover of Credit Suisse and its implications for the broader financial sector. Bloomberg's Francine Lacqua joins us next from Switzerland. As we watch futures move a touch higher now, S&P futures are up 4 points. Dow futures up.
Yeah, that oil trade's still looking good. This is making a little bit of a push.
Yield at 3.36%. This is Bloomberg.
Looking at potentially holding some of these levels here, and then just structuring up. Nice structure here, pushed up, come down, hold the structure, and then go back up again. Let's have a little look at. Yeah, I mean the dollar index. We need that dollar to break through here. If we make that break, decent break, then things will turn around quite nicely here on crypto. Start making that move back up, but we do just need that break towards that level of next support, really. Those that are just joining us, by the way, feel free to message us in the chat section. I'm more than happy to go through some TA with you. I mean, yeah, we've entered the short on oil, which is looking nice. A long on sushi. I'll see whether we can continue holding this level here. Ideally, we need that dollar to make that break. But I mean, see how we come into that area now, that structure, seeing a bit of support coming in. All we need is this to make that push, and this should hold, make that push up higher. Now, in terms of next kind of the area to look for in terms of resistance on Bitcoin is between 30k and 32k now. Do I see that coming in today? Probably not. It's probably going to come in the next days leading to that Fed interest rate come in on Wednesday. But yeah, you could potentially see that about 29. Seeing another push back up. Just see that structure, well, kind of structuring up towards that level. But yeah, things are looking good, guys. Things are looking good. We're cashing in on some nice profit at least. Like I said, last week, or well, this month as a whole has been insane. We've been absolutely killing it. Lots and lots and lots of profit. Okay, so yeah, lots of profit, very minimal amount of losses as well. Very minimal amount of losses. So we just need to continue capitalizing on weeks and months like this. The price structure and kind of price action has just been very kind of textbook, moving very nicely. So yeah, even here, so we capitalize on quite a lot of trades on this structure here. So as you can see, we've got a head and shoulders, kind of that wider range forming here. We capitalize on some very nice shorts here. It built up some structure, and then we just played it all the way to the tops. Whenever there's some nice structure to play around, like very nice clear structure, yeah, it's always the time to really kind of load up and capitalize on. Again, also kind of putting how 2 and 2 together. Your Bitcoin dominance, okay. Again, I touch on this all the time. It's important that you know that structure with Bitcoin dominance. What is it doing? Is it coming to a key point of breakout or rebounding? Okay, as you can see here, this is a range that we've been moving within since 2 years ago. Okay, and we are potentially either breaking through here or reversing off the top. Okay, so if we find resistance and we start pulling back, if Bitcoin is increasing in price, the altcoins will blow up. Okay, now if we see a reverse and Bitcoin falling down, okay, the altcoins will fall down heavily. Okay, so it's always key to keep an eye on an eye on Bitcoin dominance. Always key. Okay, that's why we're always touching on it. Hey, what about natural gas? Natural gas. Okay, so I mean, last week again capitalized on a very nice natural gas trade. Very nice. Let me have a little look. Slightly up on the day. It's building up on some positive structure here. See that rebound there? You got that close coming in higher than that previous close. So, by the looks of it, we could potentially see it rebound a little bit more, seeing a bit of buy side on that hourly. Let me just have a little look at the... Yeah, a little bit more of a push up, and then bam, continue to come down. I mean, on the higher time frame, it looks very, very weak. We're at this. See how we're at this structure here. This previous. Here we go. See how we got that tap there. Got this tap coming in again. What about gold? I did go over gold. Bear with me. I'll go back over it. Yeah, we could potentially still continue coming down. This is a nice area structure to come to. See here, that 1.2 mark, or 1.99 mark. That'll be nice. We're at this kind of previous level of support. See here, expecting it to come down. On the 1 hour, it looks a little bit like we could get a bit more of a rebound, but we'll see. We could get that W formation forming. So bam, 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 push up here, potentially hold here. If that's the case and it holds that this previous structure just here, then make that push up higher. Otherwise, straight back down. I'll make that move. But yeah, I mean, we're holding the guns on natural gas. Your oil though is looking weak, very, very weak. Gold, yeah. So again, we did just go over it. It's building up some structure. Okay, this is your area at which we're looking for resistance. But yeah, again, as mentioned, it really does depend on what's happening with the banking sector. Okay, if the banking sector continues to look bleak, then investors are going to continue looking for safe havens. Okay, so you'll probably see a bit more of an influx in terms of investment into gold. Okay, and make that push. But I think for now, potentially just building up on some structure. Okay, I don't see anything too crazy happening on gold right now. Again, structuring up, building some structure, potentially entering some sort of a range, and then either making a break up or breakdown. We are looking more so at a break up towards that level of liquidity there. That's where your kind of buy side liquidity is at. We're not getting a great deal of sell side on the higher time frame, and you need that sell side to really make that breakdown lower. And we still got some nice bullish price action as well as kind of buy side momentum here. So yeah, structuring up, push towards here, and then we'll see whether the sellers are coming in. But this is where, I mean, it's very, very high. Okay, and we kind of held here. Here I've got price action to go off, holding resistance. Will it break? Well, who knows? We'll have to keep an eye on things and see how prices develop. But again, as we always say, we go week by week, day by day. Things are always changing very, very quickly in the market. Again, depending on what data comes in. Very data driven market at the moment. Very data driven. By the way, guys, thank you very much for the likes and follows. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, structuring up. We'll see how things kind of play out. Yeah. Hopefully that answers your question. Yeah, I mean, oil's looking good. Yeah, this is looking like we're going to structure up as well. Yeah, we'll continue holding. If it comes down towards this 200, see this 200 on the hour, We'll see how things kind of react there. We could potentially add a little bit more margin there for a turnaround. Things are looking like they're holding quite nicely here. So we just wanted to continue holding this level. Bam, bam, bam. Push up, push up, push up.
At 6:21 on Wall Street, I'm Karen Moscow. European stocks now little changed, and S&P futures are lower following that emergency weekend sale of Credit Suisse to UBS. And we check the markets all day long here on Bloomberg. S&P futures down a tenth of a percent or 5 points. Dow futures down 0.2% or 66 points. Nasdaq futures are little changed. 10-year Treasury up 22 seconds. Yield 3.34%, and the yield on the 2-year at 3.74%. And that's a Bloomberg Business Flash. Now here's Michael Barr with more on what's going on around the world. Michael.
Karen, Chinese President Xi Jinping embarks on his first trip to Moscow since Russia invaded Ukraine. Xi and Vladimir Putin are said to have a no-limits partnership. Trash is piling up in the streets as demonstrators in France clash with police. It's over President Emmanuel Macron's push to push the retirement age from 62 to 64. Fairleigh Dickinson's run in the NCAA tournament is over. 16th-seeded FDU lost to Florida Atlantic 78-70 last night. Meanwhile, 15th-seeded Princeton will play Creighton Friday. In the NBA, the Nets lost. NHL, the Rangers and Devils won, along with the Bruins. Capitals lost.
Yeah, we're making that break. Things are looking quite nice now.
2,700 journalists and analysts from more than 120 countries. I'm Michael Barr. This is Bloomberg. Nathan.
Thanks, Michael. It is 6:23 on Wall Street. I'm Nathan Hager. This is Bloomberg Daybreak. And while our focus, of course, this morning remains on Swiss banks to take over Credit Suisse, we also have to pay attention to what's going on in the U.S.
You alright, mates, bro? Can I learn from you more? Yeah, of course you can, mate. No problem. Just drop me a message and yeah, more than welcome to help you out. 100%.
Public Bank leading the declines this morning in U.S. financial shares, downgraded to junk by S&P Global Ratings for a second time. What's going on with Public?
I was expecting some sort of announcement or resolution over the weekend. It didn't happen. We're just in wait and see mode. I think what management of the bank is trying to do is see if there's a possibility that the bank can be viable, relying upon the fact that the largest U.S. banks, in conjunction with the U.S. government, it did inject $30 billion in deposits to help shore up the funding base and really give the bank a vote of confidence. But unfortunately, the market is telling you a different story. So one thing has to happen soon enough, and I think time really is of the essence for the bank.
Is there potential ripple effect from what's been going on with small, medium-sized banks? We've seen a number of deposit outflows from a lot of these banks. You're moving into bigger banks. Do you see any insight to this?
Yeah, it's really hard to predict how the market's going to move once there's some sort of eventual resolution with First Republic. You are
Live and let live well, and always remember stay. Seeing a little bit of a rebound. Let's see how things react. Hopefully we can hold on to here and make that move up higher. Things are looking good though. Things are looking good. I'm from Nepal, but yeah, trading is illegal. Can you imagine that? No way. As if. Is that due to religious reasons? Could be. But yeah, that's crazy, man. Go on that VPN. Yeah.
for the entire industry and really calm things down. It all really started with
His mentoring program is honestly the best thing I've ever done. Yes. I'm glad it's been useful for you. Our trading method's simple, guys. It's not overcomplicated, that's for sure. Keep it nice and simple. It's just price action based. Price action, volume, liquidity. It's nothing. There's no complicated indicators. It's simple. Okay. Um, yeah,
injecting
glad you enjoyed it.
for a short period of time makes sense. Another thing that I think regulators or the government can do is increase the FDIC insurance limit. So there are some actions that probably need to be taken to instill some more confidence for
Hopefully we can just continue holding this point. That'd be nice. Holding on to that level quite nicely. We're also holding, coming down. Yeah, things are looking good. Those that haven't noticed as well, I mean, we have touched on this. The Russell 2000 that tracks pretty closely to Bitcoin. I mean, in terms of tracking closely, when the all-time high hits on Bitcoin as well as the Russell's, I think was about 3 days apart. Very, very close tracking. Okay, and this is starting to make a dive down. Okay, so it's something worth pointing out. Your S&P, looking a bit more bearish now. The Nasdaq is the most bullish looking one. Okay, we're actually seeing that nice rebound off here. But yeah, the Russell and the Nasdaq, the Russell and the S&P, are looking pretty weak. The S&P is holding here relatively. Saw some nice buy side, but not a great deal of kind of following through in terms of price action to the upside currently. So could very well continue moving down. But that's your structure on the S&P. Hello everyone. Hello. I don't have a mentor. Very hard to find one here. Yeah, well, I'll presume if it's illegal, then there's not going to be many mentors out there. So, yeah, that's your best route of learning quickly. Otherwise, yeah, it's going to take you forever. And you're going to potentially pick up on bad habits and just waste money. So it's the best way if you're just starting out, just find a mentor, and then start thinking about putting some money and getting some skin in the game. But that's where a lot of people kind of go wrong right at the beginning. They think they can learn it by themselves, which I mean you can do. It's going to take you a very, very long time to do so. And in the meantime, you're going to lose money that you could have just learned off someone who's been doing it for a long time, and made it just easier for you to get to that point of being successful and yeah, well, being successful at trading. Simple. Right, so we're seeing a little bit of a rebound. Nice. Let's see what we can get here. I mean, I was looking at some of these altcoins last night, and I mean, some of them absolutely blew the roof. I know Quantum was up heavily. OMG was up heavily. Now, this is Mask was one of the trades that we capitalized on last week. It was just giving more and more. And yeah, by the end of it, it was up. I mean, our last target was here, and it absolutely blew the roof off. Huge move. We were literally trading it here all the way from this point onwards. Yeah, we cashed in on Mask heavily last week. If you're learning by yourself, you will pay a lot for knowledge and experience. Trust me, I did and burned a lot. Exactly, my man. Exactly. You will literally just burn through money, okay? And that money could have been spent on learning from someone. And you, yeah, it's the thing is also nowadays you've got prop trading, okay? So just learn the right way, find a mentor, learn the right way, put it into practice, get a demo account, and just literally back test the strategy that you've learned. Okay, and the best way is as you're learning, if you've got a mentor, you can just pull them up and ask them, and you're literally getting that information there and then. Okay, rather than having to search online, watch videos endlessly, and a lot of the time, what you're learning is off YouTube and stuff. You're still you finish the video and still have questions, and that's where the mentor comes in hand. The mentor, the benefit of having a mentor is you have someone that can guide you there and then. Okay, and questions that you have there and then you can ask, okay, and they get clarified right there, rather than okay, now yeah, you get a question cleared and then you have another one. Okay, so then you're always looking for answers and you're not getting them as quickly. um so yeah, get a mentor, learn, backtest, then start getting a bit comfortable with playing with real money. And then once you get comfortable there, literally just go in and pass a prop trading firm, okay? And then you get instant funding that way, so you don't need to worry about playing around with $1,000 here and there and having a small account, okay? You can spend that initial money that you're going to spend on anywhere on a small account on mentorship, and then just get enough to get into a prop trading firm. And then you've got your instant access to a larger account there. That's the way that you want to be doing it. Am I mentoring? If you drop me a message, privately, okay, I'll be in touch. But yes, if you have a look at a comment by Coins, that's your information there. But yeah, message me privately and I can send you the info. But yeah, Mask, huge trade last week. Yeah, there was some very beautiful trades. Let me get Sushi back up. Seeing a little bit of a prop back up on Sushi, which is nice. Now this is building up on some structure here. So just stay patient on oil. Hopefully we can just continue holding and then actually make a stronger break to the downside. $60 is our target. Okay, but we could actually come in anywhere between here. So if you want to take profit over here, perfect. Reason why we're going for 60 is it's a nice round number. There's some structure to go off there as well. So yeah, we'll see how things kind of play out. Yeah. Thanks for the likes and follows, guys. Thank you. Again, anyone that's just joining us, feel free to message in the chat. Yeah, I'm more than happy to go through any TA or anything. Let's smash it through. We're looking good. This is making a nice break, like I said. So, two areas of support. Okay, this is your first area. This is your second area. So we'll see how things going to play out. Yeah. Where can I message you, bro? Just message me here on TradingView. And then I'll get back to you literally here on the live. Just message me privately. If you click, I think, on my logo, or if you go to my account, there'll be a message section. So just tap that message and drop me a message, and yeah, we can go from there. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Very, very nice move. Very, very, very nice. I'm from Germany. How about you? Feel free to text me. So we can maybe build a connection. That's always a good thing. Yeah, of course, man. No problem. Yeah, we've got a few people that are with us from Germany, so you're not alone. That's for sure. So what do you think? BTC to 30k plus by the 22nd? Yeah, potentially. I think it's going to be soon. If it's going to happen, it's going to be very soon. We could push as high as 32k. But again, it really does depend on what's being said in that meeting. It's really important. Don't message. Yeah, I've just messaged you back, mate. I've just messaged you back just now. Seeing a nice rebound. See if we can make that break up higher. It'll be nice. Very, very nice. This is making a slight push. Now we just need it to continue holding this level. Just remember, this is a previous level of support, potentially into new resistance. If we push above it, then I mean that's our call to get out. But as long as we continue holding and failing to break through here, it looks good for that larger move and break through this previous support. Yeah, again came and tested that 0.5. So we'll see how things kind of play out. What are the basics for trading? Okay, so mapping market structure, understanding how to map it correctly, right? Okay, where's how to map resistance support correctly, and then how to read a breakout correctly, right? Support and resistance, risk management, your supply and demand zones, okay? So like your order blocks are very important. Volume, again, very basic. Moving averages, basic. Fibonacci's. Yeah, that's partly, well, majority of your basics really. With that alone, you're good to go. Again, we touch base on all of this. We've got a lot of content on those things. Live and live well.
Meanwhile, 15th seeded Princeton played Creighton Friday. In the NBA, the Nets lost. In the NHL, the Rangers, Devils, and Bruins won. The Capitals lost. Global news, 24 hours a day, powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts in over 120 countries. I'm Michael Barr. This is Bloomberg, Nathan.
Okay, Michael, thank you. We're coming up to 6:43 on Wall Street. I'm Nathan Hager. This is Bloomberg Daybreak, joined now by Bloomberg Radio and Television Markets correspondent Kriti Gupta. Around the time we usually check individual names moving in the pre-market. Of course, the names to watch this morning, Kriti, remain UBS and Credit Suisse.
Yeah, two massive moves that you're seeing in the pre-market. I'm just going to look through the ADRs here. Credit Suisse shares,
The ADRs.
about 58% negative. I mean, it is massive. We were expecting kind of this Monday to be some sort of sign of relief, and I would argue it was for about 5
We're
minutes.
looking good. So we got a nice breakout. So we got a bit of structure here.
A lot of the focus here is
So
price actions are more on
see how things kind of react. But we've broken through here, so that's good.
happening. And of course, as we speak, futures are marginally positive. I think I just jinxed it. But what's
Yeah.
important to keep in mind here is that the bond story is really important. We're
Just going to build up, continue building up on structure.
throughout the world in a way that we didn't see on Friday night when we went home. The idea here simply that although this is a isolated, specific story to Credit Suisse and to the kind of UBS story, as well as Silicon, the same way Silicon Valley Bank was its own isolated story, as opposed to some sort of broader contagion in the banking sector. This time around in the market trade, what you're seeing in the bond market is a little bit more interconnected. And let me elaborate here, nerd out if you don't mind. But basically, these AT1 bonds were kind of introduced after the sovereign debt crises in Europe in 2011, 2013, that arena. The idea here simply being that if the banks were to have a write down or fail in any way, the potential bailouts or the potential kind of injection of liquidity is not going to come from the taxpayers, it's going to come from the investors. And the way it's done is by really issuing these AT1 bonds, which are basically high yielding. They're the first ones to go out, or right after equities, but in this Credit Suisse case, they're the first ones to go out in the case of a write down. The fine print, by the way, that only applies to Credit Suisse and UBS. So some interesting kind of Swiss turnaround there.
Do, 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 do. Okay.
Wipe out of the AT1s, whereas equity shareholders, which traditionally are hit first, get to kind of hold some of their value or keep it. They're not written down to zero. Then what's the point of the AT1s? And what's the downside about that is what a lot of the banks around the world
Seeing a bit of a rebound.
funding, because it just means that if without it, they're a little bit more exposed.
All right, where are we coming down to?
Was that the Credit Suisse story again is a broader based issue. That being said, in the last hour or so, we did hear from the European Banking Authority coming out and saying, look, this is the norm is that equity shareholders will get hit first, then the AT1s, then the rest, which is a traditional way to do it. When you look at other European
What do you think about the site charts?
came out, you are starting to see
A aggregate.
or losses in the market get hurt a little bit.
Is there a read-through here, Kriti, to the U.S. market? From what I understand, there aren't. I mean, the AT1s are a European.
Um,
But does this
is that a good thing to work with? AGGR.
in higher risk
Is that
ones in this country?
What you mean by GGGR? Let me know, because I don't know what you mean by that.
Banking sectors, I should say, are very different than your JP Morgans, Morgan Stanleys, etc. So I would say wait for about an hour, and I will give you a much, much better answer. But right now, I think what you are seeing in the markets, aside from kind of risk sentiment driving the future trading, is what you're seeing in the currency market. And I think this is where it really comes to fruition what the Federal Reserve is going to say about this. Because remember, in the last 24 hours, they have actually announced a expansion of some of their
Here we
swap
go, making that
liabilities,
push up
meaning
again.
they're going to start
Alright, let
extending
me have a little look.
waivers to other banks to make sure that some of this trading, some of this kind of deal flow that already was getting halted on the backs of Credit Suisse in Europe isn't going to have repercussions for the rest of the market. The idea here being that if you are a trader in Europe and you had some sort of risk or exposure to Credit Suisse, this deal isn't going to hurt your ability to now make trades with other people and hold you back. That's kind of the read through here. And I think that is perhaps in some ways helping with the credibility of that perhaps this banking turmoil is an isolated issue. But on the other hand, it's also hurting the currency picture. Because take a look at the Bloomberg Dollar Index. As we speak, Nathan, it's weakening more and more down to 0.2%. And I should say the Swiss franc is as well. These are two major G10 currencies that you kind of need to be functioning the normal way.
Yeah, and I'm glad you mentioned that agreement that the Fed made with those other central banks on dollar swap liquidity. This idea that we're starting to see a bit of a reversal from the quantitative tightening regime that the Fed's been under for the last several months. If we start to see that play out as financial tightening in the broader market, that has implications for the Fed in its decision coming up this week, no?
It absolutely does. And you're already seeing some of the major Wall Street economists say, look, we actually are going to redo our calls. For example, Andrew Hollenhorst and his team over at Citigroup had the conversation
Oh, it's just a
about
charting software.
on Wednesday was what they were calling for. Just this morning,
Yeah, looks good.
released now they are shooting for 25, essentially saying that some of the banking turmoil has
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a little bit more information on things, that's for sure. But
rate hike, and that's something that's shared by Bloomberg
um,
Economics as well. Bloomberg Economics, I should say,
it's up to you. I mean,
a lot of the banking turmoil
if you're just starting off, I wouldn't really recommend it. You're gonna get confused.
when it comes to the actual
Um,
on the economy and
yeah,
business.
you need to keep it nice and simple, especially when you're just starting off. So if you're just starting off, that is likely to confuse you really. But it gives you nice. I mean, it gives you God's information. But again, depends on if you're able to read it or not. But yeah, it does look good.
Pretty simple one there. I'm going to simplify it. When the world is in crisis, you buy American. You saw that in the last
I'll just keep it simple if you're just starting off though, mate.
performing that's massively lower, and you also
There's no need to overcomplicate an already complicated system. Okay, there's no need for that.
Very busy as always, even more so as we watch the fallout in the bank sector continue. Creedy, thanks as always. Just checking UBS shares once again in Zurich. They're trading lower by about 4.8%. And Credit Suisse shares had been down more than 60%, now down almost 60%. As for the stocks as a whole in this country, futures are pointing a touch higher now, with S&P futures pointing to a higher open at
Still playing.
Karen.
Nathan, it is 6:50 on Wall Street, and we turn to news and science and
Ooh,
technology
ooh,
now with
ooh,
the
ooh,
Bloomberg
ooh.
Index
Things are holding
report. It is
relatively well.
into
They're not moving a great deal, but at least we're building up some structure ahead of that New York Open coming in about an hour and a bit. So let's see. It's holding nicely. As long as we hold above this 618, we're okay. Ideally between that 382 and 0.5 is your sweet spot. And then we continue pushing up. I'm probably looking at a range. Let me have a little look. I'll find a range for today. I'm not expecting things to absolutely blow the roof off, but potentially move somewhere around this region here. Yeah, a little bit of structure there. I'm potentially just coming tap that area Okay, around 29, then move back down and just build some structure. Again, not expecting things to go wild ahead of this Fed. This is an important Fed meeting. Yeah, that's annoying sometimes. Thank you for checking. Yeah, no problem, man. Just keep it nice and simple. There's no need to overcomplicate things for yourself. Just keep it nice and simple, especially when you're just starting off. Just learn the basics. Okay, simple, but effective, and then you can look at kind of the more complicated information. But the basics in terms of your volume, your demand and supply zones, and your price action. That's good enough information to take trades on. Okay, so just keep it nice and simple. Let's see.
Is it 2 million? Is it 5 million? Is it 10 million? Small businesses need to be able to count on getting their money
But
through
yeah,
payroll.
see how things kind of hold off now. Those that are just joining us, okay, they will touch base. Okay, so you got your support, yeah. Okay, we're looking at moving back up. We've taken a long on sushi. We've taken a short on oil. Okay, that's our target of $60 on oil. We're expecting it to hold here and come down. So that's your trade there. So our stop loss is at 67.71. Take profit at 60. Okay. In terms of sushi, there's 3 take profits. Okay. This is our final one. That's 1.3, 1.35, 1.34, whichever way you want to do it. But we're looking at holding this trend line, holding this previous structure here, and actually making that move up. Dollar to actually come down towards these next levels of support and rebound and make that move back up. And then in terms of Bitcoin, making that push towards that 29K. Again, not expecting it to go absolutely flying, but we'll see it. We'll take it as it comes and then move from there. Okay. But yeah, guys, all right. We've been here for a while, nearly 2 hours. We've got some work to be doing. And then, yeah, we'll come back about 12 o'clock ish, just ahead of that New York Open. Where can I trade oil, FX, and stuff like that? Again, just message me privately, and I'll get you a broker. That's not a problem. I'll recommend you a broker that you can use to trade that. But yeah, thank you very much for joining. It's an absolute pleasure. Do you have a Telegram? Again, my man. Yeah, I can't give you this information. Otherwise, I get reported on TradingView. You're not allowed to give this. So, you're going to just Discord is not working here. Always remember staying. Bear with me.
Also say over the weekend that, the $250,000 limit perhaps wasn't enough. But yesterday I asked Kevin McCarthy down at the Republicans Issue Conference in Orlando about it, and he didn't really give a clear answer one way or the other. He said that more investigations were needed. He did shy away from more regulation, though. That is something that he's told reporters a couple times, and more regulation is not needed at this point.
Bear with me. I'll message you privately. 2 seconds. Use a VPN. Yeah, that's your way around it. Okay, that is your way around it. But yeah, I've messaged you privately. So you can go from there. Feel free to message me privately with any questions that you may have. That's always okay. But yeah, guys, again, as mentioned, thank you very much for joining me. If you need a way to trade oil, FX, commodities, equities, anything like that, again, just message me privately. I'll help you out in that scenario. That's not a problem at all. But yeah, guys, thank you very much. Let's see how things kind of develop here. And I'll come back about 12 o'clock UK time, 12 o'clock, 12:30 ahead of that New York Open for another live trading session. Let's see what we can get today. Hopefully we can get a little bit more movement coming in. That will be amazing. But yeah, thank you. Enjoy your time. Hopefully I'll see you on that next live trading session. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.